I've been at this about 10 minutes now, trying to take everything out. One of the reasons why I'm selling it too, it just sits there. I got the car in the shop October of 2022. I got it out of the shop around, I believe it was February of 2023, and we got all the mechanical side of it taken care of, and over Edge Motorworks in Fremont. And I barely put 2,000, maybe 3,000 miles on this car since I've had it out of the shop. It drives perfectly, just cosmetics. You know, my son just did that, and it's just cosmetics. That's all it is. But I don't get to drive it because it takes too long to get out of the garage, and the kids do that to me, and they get their stuff out. And so it's been in the garage. That's how I keep it. I've got the cover over it because we have a cat, but plus it's a hassle to keep having to take the dust off of it and then be able to enjoy driving it. So I don't get to enjoy it as much as I'd love to. And obviously it needs a lot of cosmetic work, paint, wheels need to be refurbished. I mean, these cars are beautiful when they're on the road, and they have a certain panache that you must be able to keep when you drive an M5. It looks weird to drive an M5 looking like a hoopty, you know what I mean? So reason number 2 for selling the car: kids going to college. My youngest is in university right now, and we've got to pay tuition as well as his room. So, and I have to make the sacrifice. This has been with us since 2010. That's when I bought this car, and I've maintained it thoroughly. The engine's been thoroughly maintained. I never skipped a service. I've never cut corners on servicing this vehicle, and I'm just one of those kind of people who are very thorough when it comes to service. But just cosmetics, this is all this car needs, and I recommend getting a new gearbox or a replacement gearbox, maybe from a 540 donor car. But you know, gears one through except 5th gear, they kind of have a higher noise than the 5th gear does, but other than that, it drives perfectly fine. And again, just cosmetics. I got all the receipts from Edge Motorwork. I'll upload those into the posting as well. Let's see, hasn't been started since I think June. We're in end of August right now. There's a mileage, 187,889. Okay. I like to turn the fan off. Here we go. Okay. Alright, get the mirrors down. Tank, no gas. I've always put Shell in this, so Shell, and the other gas is Chevron. So Shell's my primary, but Chevron's the next fuel to put in. But yeah, all right. Okay, so just want to point some things out. The plastic on this thing is deteriorating, so this will crumble. The frame on the mirror is cracked, so it does. You know, you have to. If you ever open this up, I actually try to fix it myself because I don't want to spend $700 on a new mirror. Obviously, they work. Windows go up and down. Everything works. Seats move. Everything works here. Just, you know, obviously the steering wheel is original. This is the second shifter boot, obviously worn out. Again, it's all cosmetics, which is kind of the interior's in really good condition. except the little plasticky bit right there. This is good. So our second one that I've had. Put that down. You can see interior is in really good condition. Just gotta fold all that back up. I'll just fold that up, no big deal. Obviously these need to be replaced on both sides. It's got a rear screen, works. Little rubber in the corners right there. Scratches, obviously it does need a new bumper with the wheels. I took the paint off the hood because it faded so much. I just looked ugly, so someone backed into me in San Francisco, reversed into me, so it's kind of pushed in a little bit, just a little bit. It's not a big deal. That's from me being on a cell phone right there, so that's dented. Again, just needs a paint job. That's all. And my son did this just recently. Backed into it because it just sits in the garage, and yeah, he did that to me. Very clean under the hood, and that's because I always cleaned it. Trunk. The button underneath here is kind of gooey right now. Actually, no, it's because it's been in the garage, so it's not gooey right now. There's the boot. Underneath there, there's a compressor. It's all set up for charging when parked. This goes underneath the dash. Those are the visors. Right there. Got a Grom audio, the Grom setup. Alright, let's go. So it's due for a oil change in 252 miles. Up. Put it in sport. Do that because it gives you a nice throttle response. sound in the back, but barely noticeable at the front. But you can hear a tiny squeaky sound coming from the chairs or something. Maybe the blind that's back there. I'm not sure. But I've had this since 2010. So on the DMV records it shows 4 owners. I was actually the second. So I'm the second owner. Sorry, let me rewind. I'm the third owner. Yes, I'm a third owner. And I sold it back in 2011 because I had a tax problem back then. Then I got back out of my situation, back on track, and I went looking for another one of these, and I couldn't find the one with the right spec, color, everything. I just couldn't find one. And so I called the dude I sold this car to. He was a YouTube executive or something like that at YouTube. And I called him back up and said, hey man, you want to sell the car back to me? And he said, nope. But he calls me about 6 or 7 months later, and he tells me that he purchased a 2002 Tii, which is a 1972 BMW, and he no longer had room for this one in his garage, and it was parked outside. So he called me. He lives in San Francisco at the time. He goes, hey man, if I wanted to buy it, and then all he had to do at that point was replace the fuel pump. And so he replaced the fuel pump on it. I basically bought the car back off of him, so it's really stayed with me ever since. But originally I bought this car from a guy who was going out of business in 2010, and he owned a construction company, and this is during that great recession time. And he had this car parked in the back of his garage, which is like a 10 bay garage bay or whatever he had. And it's just sitting there, covered in dust. It sat for 2 years with him. And what he did, he told me, he goes, I just got the smog past smog and just parked it. And I purchased it from him. My brother overhauled it back then. Again, we've enjoyed this car so much. Fond memories, I tell you what. This has been one of those cars that when you're in an emotional funk, when you're kind of like jammed up, and you just want to go for a drive, this was the car that put a smile on my face. So this is a very emotional thing for me to have to sell it, but I have to do it. And I shared earlier, it's mainly because we're hit with expenses for my kids' college, and I'm probably never going to get around to painting this car and getting it on the road like I'd like to. I think it'd be a shame for it to continue sitting there in the garage when somebody else can take it and put nice paint on it and put it back on the road like I've always imagined. Again, the drivetrain, suspension, tires, everything's been done. Engine, it's solid, no oil leaks. And I think this will be an amazing car for anybody. Stereo, radio works, everything works on this car. Just like I said, little plasticky things, deteriorating, right? So, and that just comes with BMW. It has that smell as well, the old smell of a BMW. Mercedes have them as well, so whenever you sit inside an old Mercedes, they always smell the same. Well, same thing with BMW. This has that aroma, let's just call it. Has an aroma, which is aged. You can see, let's wait for this car. one of the things I do is whenever I'm on a hill, I'll always put it in first gear and then gently, even though the handbrake can handle it, it's one of the things I want to make sure that everything stays in good condition. We're not resting totally on the handbrake, and yeah. If I drive it anymore, I'm gonna change my mind. I've changed my mind over the years.